ISMA data had come in earlier, and in fact, it indicated that sugar production fell in the period from around October to February by around 18%. To understand the impact of this, we're joined by Mr. Manickam, the Executive Vice Chairman of Sakthi Sugars, to give us his insights. Hi, Mr. Manickam. Thanks so much, sir, for joining in. Earlier it was estimated that we should see sugar production at around 21.5 million tons approximately. Now that number is coming closer towards, the estimate is closer towards 20 million tons. Your sense of the situation, what kind of impact can we see on prices, and how long can this honeymoon period last for the sugar industry?
See, as it stands, we've been talking about the stresses under the sugar industry, right? Last 2-3 years, we've been selling much below our cost of production, so we haven't paid the farmers in time. So there was a lot of disincentive for the farmers to plant the cane. On top of that, last year we had a drought in Maharashtra, which is termed as the worst in 100 years. And this year we've had drought in the south, which is probably the worst in the 140 years. So the planting has gone down drastically, so our production has come down. So the estimates, if you look at it, I think every month it's coming down. It was originally we started with 230, and when we came down to 220, 210, now we're at 200. So I may not be surprised that we close the year with about 190. There is a possibility. We'll have to wait and see what happens by end of March, because most of the estimates are not very clear until you know how many factories are operating. Okay. So if you're looking at that, we're tight on sugar at this point of time.
So you're saying that the actual production for sugar year, SY17 could actually be closer to 19 million tons versus ISMA's forecast of 20.3?
It could be between 19 and 20. That's what I think.
Okay.
So, I mean, realistically speaking, that's a pessimistic view or a realistic view, whichever way you want to look at it. It could be between 19 and 20. So we are looking at fairly a tight situation for sugar in the next year.
Considering that we're just at the onset of summer demand, Holi is round the corner, what will this mean for sugar prices? If you could, tell us the trend that you foresee, and currently, what are the ex-mill as well as retail prices?
See, today the ex-mill is around 38, 39. Government has been, giving a lot of warnings and pushing the mills to sell the stock. So the prices are around 38, 39. And if today import, even if we're talking about shortage and we want to start importing sugar, the imported sugar will be coming in 41, 42. So if we are looking at imported sugar, then we need to allow the prices to go up to about 42. So I think it will be range bound between 39 to 43. That's where I think we'll probably have the sugar prices going forward.
All right, Mr. Manickam, just wanted to ask you, I was just looking at sugar prices, and in Tamil Nadu, prices have gone from around, 3,300 rupees a quintal to around 3,700, 3,800 rupees per quintal. Whereas in the north, it's not moved that much. Why suddenly such a big spurt in Tamil Nadu sugar prices? That's the first part. And also, I was just reading a couple of articles. I think international sugar prices, they have not moved much in the last, 5-6 months. So what's going on that front?
See, international sugar is fairly well supplied, so we don't see a major deficit in the international market except what is happening in India. So that's why I think the international prices are kind of waiting, and they're waiting to see if really India will import. That's the first point.
Okay.
And as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, we had produced a peak of about 2.5 million tons. And this year, we are likely to produce only about 1.1 million tons. So actually, we are operating at 40% of capacity. So the demand for sugar is high, and we are not really producing enough. That's why you are seeing the prices higher in south versus north.
Okay. Let me come back to the point that you were making on import. With production dwindling, the carry forward for next year is also substantially lower than what we've had in the past, right? The carry forward is now, I think, closer to 45 days. And in the past, we've had a carry forward which could have lasted us for close to about 90 days. Do you think we will have to resort to importing sugar?
I think my personal opinion is that we should start looking into importing sugar, because we've never had opening stock of 500,000, 1 million kind of stock. And I think the worst that we had previous year, I remember, about 3.5 to 3.6 million tons. So we would need to import something to have a healthy opening stock. I mean, of course, people are feeling that next year we might have a jump in production, and so we may not need to import. But I'm not very sure if that jump will happen, because the tradition is that it doesn't jump that fast. So we will have a deficit in one more year before we go into surplus.
All right, Mr. Manickam, if you could tell us, what about the debt in your books? You've been gradually reducing it. What's the current debt in your books? What was it? And what should it be in the next 1 year or so? Because the sugar space is bracing itself for a pretty good couple of years at least, I think.
Yeah, I mean, our debt is coming down, but what we are worried about is the drought because most of our cane is down. In fact, Tamil Nadu, the current year we have produced about, we crushed about 17 lakh tons. Next year, that is coming down to about 7 lakh tons for our factory. So we are basically really dropping huge on the quantities crushed. So the prices are not going to really do as much unless some imports come in. So we have to really wait and watch what happens. But we are looking at cutting down debt by various methods. You know, we are looking at probably bringing it down to about 400 to 500 crores in the next 2 years.
Okay, Mr. Manickam, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining in. Well, ISMA's Sakthi